Ramblin' Man, moto and drone here. A few random topics. I wanted to get out so badly today, and unfortunately I'm doing it here at the very end of the day. 20-mile-an-hour wind gusts, the sun's going down, so that means the temp's going down, and I'm leaving at 48 degrees. So won't be a long ride, but try to ride a little all the time. So I think part of the cold weather with my helmet, as I said in the other video, the chin mount, the chin strap, and the cheek pads have helped. I think, you know, sometimes my jacket is loosened at the neck and sometimes it's better and tight. I think I'm gonna have to start wearing a neck gaiter because I think some of this air is just coming up in any crevice it can through the neck. It's like today, I cold air, but overall not too bad. I got heated gear on. This heated gear to me, I've invested in the hot wired equipment. So I've got their pants and their jacket and gloves. The gloves I do not like. They're always hard to get on. I probably need a longer, wider gauntlet style. And I feel like I never really liked cold weather as a kid. And you get all bundled up, all the darn clothes, and then you go outside and after about 10 minutes you're ready to come back in. That's how I feel with this. It takes a while to get this all on and comfortable. For not, you know, the rides I'm doing when it's cold, not that long, but it's better than nothing. I do feel cold air on my chin again. The vent is closed. Another thing, I did format my GoPro card, and also, you know, for those of you who use a detached external battery, if you're getting that new warning, well, it's not new anymore, about a year and a half, 2 years old probably, but GoPro made some firmware change where if you use a Anchor external battery like I do it most of the time, it gives you this low power warning, need a battery. It's so annoying. And they have the GoPro Labs has the firmware where you can customize a bunch of settings, a lot. I've only scratched the surface, but one of the settings is to override and tell the camera to accept an external battery like that without checking. And so I reinstalled that firmware last night because I think I might have reinstalled the firmware unintentionally, overriding that. They're waiting on me. Thank you. So I'm going to see if this GoPro, if that was part of the problem between the memory card and the battery. Different topic. I've mentioned I've adjusted the driving lights, but I haven't had a test yet at night to see if anybody flashes me. My driveway is mostly flat where I'm doing the test, ever slight incline. So I'm keeping that in mind with my tape measurements on the wall. If I find a level wall somewhere, you're supposed to be like 25 feet away, measure. But so I read, you know, on my Indian Super Chief, the driving lights, as they called them, and the dealer installed those, go ditch to ditch when I turned them on. I love them. These Eagle lights, I went back and looked at what I bought, are advertised as passing lights. And I've noticed that those lights do not go ditch to ditch. It's like just a little light straight ahead. And I've adjusted them to go more up, so maybe further out in the road. But I haven't seen it in action. It's just starting, you know, you can see the lights just barely. So somebody on a forum told me that that's a difference. That driving lights are meant to be brighter and ditch to ditch. He used that phrase as well. That passing lights are just like a low beam auxiliary light as a point of light for attention. What do you guys think about that? So then that cloud's kind of cool. Look at that. Beautiful out. It's cloudy and been windy, but that looks kind of cool. So I wrote Eagle and just said, hey, I'm just kind of curious what the spread should be on your lights. they said that they use the phrase synonymously and it's no different in functionality. People call them different things. And they asked me to send a picture of the lights to make sure we installed them correctly. I did. I haven't heard back from them. I just sent them right before this ride. So we'll see. You know, I had a more knowledgeable mechanic help me install, and I think he did a good job, but I have adjusted some of what he did. I raised them. So I'll see if they come back. I don't know if there's a difference between passing and driving lights. I just assumed they were the same, and they go in the same spot. They're the same size as my previous halogen, and honestly I didn't use those halogen lights enough to gauge how they were doing, so maybe that would have helped if I'd had a baseline. I don't know if it's easy to adjust these lights left and right. You know, up and down was pretty easy. I undid a bolt and just pushed a little and tightened it back up. But side to side, the way it sits in that rack, you know, somebody else in one of the forums when I posted a question was nice enough to tell me that I was asking people, how do you line up your driving lights? Because the owner's manual says nothing about it. It says how to adjust your headlamp, but nothing. It doesn't even mention the driving lights on either bike. And one guy said he doesn't care who he offends. He is lifting those driving lights as high as they'll go so he can see. And other people, one guy took issue with that and said that's inconsiderate and dangerous, but that he does it at where the low beam hits. And then another guy said that his manufacturer of driving lights said to be 3 inches below the low beam, which is where I think I had it, and I didn't like it. So I don't know if you do differently, if you've even thought about it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I kind of want it to get dark, but it's so darn cold out when the sun goes down and it's dark. And once I get home, I don't like sitting around with all this heated pants and jacket on. The jacket's easy, but pants a hassle. This is a public, this is a HOA neighborhood, but they don't own the road. It's not private. So I use this road sometimes when I was practicing my very beginning. I would come here quietly. I wasn't a nuisance, but I would just practice up and down movements on the friction zone, and then they got 2 cul-de-sacs I would practice. Not long, but I don't know why I came down here tonight, other than just turning around and practicing my cul-de-sacs and stuff like that. Alright, so tip. Alright, that's good enough for me. I know I could have done that a lot tighter. Well, I know you could have done that a lot tighter, probably, if you're watching this. Right now, I still, I tell you, that Ride Like a Pro course kind of demoralized me. I was like, man, I thought I would do better. But there's clearly, obviously, a difference between watching videos, understanding, and then getting your... I felt like, I'm surprised he didn't go. Kind of felt like Paul from was that in Romans or Corinthians, where he said, that which I want to do, I do not do, and that which I do not want to do, I do. That's what I do on the bike. That I want to do, I don't. I've ordered some new gloves. That's been one of the tougher things for me to get comfortable. I got a pair of summer gloves that are okay. The winter gloves, these are my heated gear, but I don't have them plugged in, but they're warmer than my quote-unquote warm weather gloves. These have the ones I ordered, I think, are like deer skin, and I've read different things. People felt like their hands got dried out and didn't like them. Other people thought they were fantastic, and that it let them spread their fingers and grab and feel. And these gloves are pricier than I'd like, but you get what you pay for. I can't remember after. I keep thinking Les Paul, but that's a guitar company. Lee Paul Design or something like that. I'll share information later if you guys are interested. I saw them mentioned on another YouTube channel, and made me kind of research them, and saw a lot of people liked them. It was kind of your grown-up glove that after you've spent buying all the $50 gloves, then maybe you upgrade